and she got banned for weed, which is just like it's just crazy to me that we're still having this conversation, fam. But the Olympics is very broken.
We live?
We live.
Live. Welcome back to the Opinion Factory podcast, the podcast for free thinkers and challenge seekers.
Yes, sir.
I'm Khalil.
I'm Alex, and so the Olympics are coming up. They're a little less than a month away. Um, Summer Olympics always an exciting time. Always excited to see all the athletes. But one thing that's been making news all around the country and all around the world, honestly, is Sha'carri Richardson, a U.S. sprinter. She's one of the fastest women alive right now.
Fastest in the country, right?
Yeah, fastest in the country. She got suspended from the Olympics. She got a 30-day ban from the time of her drug test. So she'll be suspended all the way through July 28th, which means she'll miss the 100. She can't compete for the 100 meters, which is her specialty.
Right.
And she got banned for weed, which is just like it's just crazy to me that we're still having this conversation, fam. But the Olympics is very broken. There's a couple cases of just broken policies going around here. But the main thing right now is the World Anti-Doping Agency has THC, which is what's found in weed, as a substance abuse alongside cocaine, heroin, and ecstasy.
Right.
Which is, I like.
They said that it impedes, or it was something about prohibiting athletes' performance and a whole bunch of other stuff.
It's just so nonsensical. There's also another case where Brianna McNeil, a hurdler from the U.S., she got a 5-year ban because she missed her. Some of the documentation was wrong. She got an abortion, and so she missed when the drug testers came to her home. Mm-hmm. And then when she provided documents, I believe she misdated by 1 day, and they withheld that ban. It was clearly a freaking administrative error, right? And they're gonna stick it with a 5-year ban, which is just
But that's ridiculous. I didn't even know about that.
The Olympics are broken, man. It's usually something I look forward to watching every single year. I mean, every 4 years. Especially I don't really watch the Winter Olympics like that, but the Summer Olympics, you got the sprinting, you got the track and field events. Always fun to watch. Gymnastics always fun to watch. Volleyball, beach volleyball, and swimming. Those are always great things to watch. And you just like what is going on here? You got one of the most exciting people
on the list of the substances that were banned. You mentioned weed, cocaine, LSD, or whatever, all that stuff. You notice what's not on that list?
What? Oh yeah.
I mean, how much more detrimental to a person is weed versus alcohol? And now, why is weed on that list, but then alcohol isn't?
Man,
that's the thing I find very interesting.
You need that sponsorship money, man. You need that sponsorship money. You go to any event you look at, right? NFL, NBA, soccer, World Cup, Euros going on right now. It's actually funny that you mentioned the alcohol thing. So, two things happened during the Euros. One of the bigger soccer events in the world that happens every 4 years, right? It's to crown the champion of European soccer. So all these countries are fighting for each other to win the tournament. Cristiano Ronaldo came up one time and he had a bottle of Coke there. Coca-Cola is one of the sponsors of the Euros. He turned the bottle of Coke away and he was like, drink water. Next day comes out, Coca-Cola is at $1 billion loss for their stock company. And then 2 days, I mean, it's recovered since then, obviously, but 2 days later, Paul Pogba, another really big soccer player, plays for France. He's Muslim, so there was a bottle of Heineken, which is also another sponsor of the Euros. He put the bottle away because his section of Muslims, they don't drink. And that was that. Those two things became huge stories for the press conferences, and there was like back and forth going forward. And it's just obvious. You know, we talked about things like racism, all this stuff before, but money is always going to be like it's always going to be one of the main reasons, right? So you got all these Heinekens and Bud Lights, Budweisers. You're not going to lose on all that money if you're running the Olympics. You need that money. Right. So you're not just gonna ban it. Like what big?
There's no weed
company. Yeah, you know, there's no
doesn't have to sponsor the Olympics yet.
But Dwayne Wade said an interesting thing that I thought was funny was he was like, these people that are on these boards that are banning weed, I bet you they're invested in weed now that it's legal all across the.
Well, yeah, for sure.
And I remember there was John Boehner, used to be the Speaker of the House when he was Republican. You know, anti-weed legislation, all that type of stuff. He was like, we're not gonna reverse the policy. But when it became legalized in states were like, we're gonna legalize this, guess who's invested in weed companies now? You know?
Well, this is just another discrepancy of how weed is used to make money off the backs of the rich, but is used to punish lower class colored people, perhaps.
Yeah, but you know,
the thing is, I don't know if that is really the case though, because if it wasn't Sha'carri, if it was a white runner, the same thing would have happened, most likely.
Yeah, same thing would have happened most likely for sure.
Obviously, there's a chance it wouldn't, but I don't think my thing is I don't think this happened because she's black. I don't think she's a target of discrimination in this particular case. The rules are antiquated, they're outdated for sure, but she knew them going into. I don't think this is her first time at the Olympics.
And one thing I really like about what she did was, you know, obviously there was tragic circumstances around what happened, why she smoked. But
for those who don't know, why did she smoke?
Her biological mother died. She has a relationship with like her step family and the rest of her family. But I believe she had like a strained relationship with her biological mother. But you know, still your biological mother.
She found out on an interview from the interviewer.
Yeah, like exactly. So I threw her off. She said it caused her to be in a state of emotional panic. She smoked in Oregon where it's legal, but you know, I'm not gonna. She grieved her way, and the thing I really liked about it is that she held herself accountable. She's like, yeah, I did it. I know I wasn't supposed to do it,
right?
But I was grieving, and I'll take the ban. And at the World Championships, you know, I'll get that record or whatever.
Right. And she can still compete in the 4x1, I think, right? I don't think.
Yeah, she can still compete in the relays because the relays start after the 100s. So I think the 100 finals is around the time her suspension ends, but you have to qualify for the finals, and she wouldn't make it. She wouldn't make it to the qualifying, obviously missing all that time, you know.
Right.
But she held herself accountable, so it was weird seeing all these people online like attacking her or whatever, like, oh, you're so dumb, or whatever. It sucks. And my initial reaction was like, damn. That's like I really wish you didn't do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the law is so outdated.
Yeah.
The law it's so outdated, and she owned up to it, fam.
Right. And I don't think she's wrong for that.
No.
But it's weird seeing people be more mad than her about the situation.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
think that, you know, this rule was bogus and she should have done this, or other people should be doing that. And I feel like that's right. If this was meant to challenge that rule, which I don't think it was, I think it was just a moment of weakness, a lapse in judgment. But for all the people complaining about this rule right now, like, you shouldn't be doing this to her and this and that, I don't think that's the right response to go about it. Because if you set the precedent that a single athlete can break a rule that you have a very good argument that shouldn't even exist in the first place, if it's just that single athlete protesting, quote unquote, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've said this before, like, individual resistance just destroys the individual. You got to organize. If she would have came together with all the other athletes who go into the Olympics and like done something together, then I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, now you should actually look at this and change the rule, because now look at this organization. But I don't think her herself is enough to warrant like a change in the rule.
I mean, just the fact how outdated this is enough for changing the rule, man. Why are we still testing people for weed, fam?
No, I get that. It's outdated, but you can't.
So the rule needs to change. What happened?
You can't use her single case as the catalyst.
We 100% can.
That's not
what do you mean? We 100% can.
No,
this is a stupid rule.
It is.
That, albeit was broken, that
is.
does not need to exist anymore.
I agree with
and
you.
Now one of the most popular figures that's going to be at the Olympics is not competing.
Yes.
This is stupid. Let's change the rule.
It's ridiculous. But her simple. Doing it by herself.
It doesn't matter, fam. She's the example. She's the example. This rule that she broke is stupid. And now people all around the world won't get to see one of the best sprinters in the world, fam. So why would we not take this time right now, seeing what just happened, be like, yo, change the rule?
Because every other athlete who's competing in the Olympics didn't break this rule.
That doesn't matter.
No one else is affected but her.
That doesn't matter.
If it's not a widespread fact, how does it have that? You know what I mean?
Listen to what you're saying. I can't believe you're arguing this point. Listen to what you're saying.
What am I saying?
Because no other athlete done it. We can't use her as the example to launch us and be like, yo, get rid of this rule.
No, she's a single person.
That does not matter. That doesn't matter, fam.
And history.
The rule is broken. The rule is broken. There's been several times.
I'm not disputing that.
There's been several times in sports all across the board where one person or whatever was like, you know what, this person's taking advantage of this rule. We're gonna put in a new rule just for the way this person has played the game, or we're gonna change
an advantage.
We're gonna change.
You educate me. Like, can you tell me? Because I was gonna go.
I'll use the NBA as an example. The NBA is not obviously a global organization, but the NBA has implemented several rules for players who have found loopholes in the current rules to draw more fouls or to get away with quote unquote traveling, even though they've manipulated the actual rules of the game. So we're like, yo, we're going to change this and we're going to put in a specific rule just for you, just for the betterment of the game. So this is not taking advantage.
Betterment of the game. So not just for you.
And how is that does not matter, fam. Sha'carri Richardson not sprinting is not for the betterment of sprinting. That's 100% fact.
What do you mean?
Her not sprinting is not a benefit for sprinters everywhere. You taking away one of the best sprinters in the world does not benefit your sport at all over a stupid rule. So now we go look at this rule that she broke that's outdated, and we're gonna be like, you know what? It's really time for this to change because this rule has cost us one of the best sprinters in the world. It's that simple.
It seems like her not sprinting is going to destroy the entire event. It's going to give other teams
it brings in so much less popularity, fam.
Yeah, we're not talking about
Sha'carri Richardson is literally one of the biggest stars in the world.
We're not talking about popularity. We're talking about
yes, we are, because that's what sports and entertainment. No, listen. Sports is entertainment. You're literally saying we're taking away one of the biggest entertainers over a dumb rule.
The NBA, it wasn't because people were like stopping. It wasn't because people weren't watching the NBA no more. It was
that's exactly what happened. What do you mean?
No, it was because it was affecting the other players playing the game,
and it also was affecting the popularity. It was something that all NBA fans. It was something that all NBA fans hated. It was literally something all NBA fans hated, fam.
That wasn't. I'm pretty sure they changed. The driving force behind that change was because it was affecting other players, other teams, in an unfair way. Her not sprinting is not affecting.
It wasn't an unfair way. It was part of the rules. It was part of the rules, fam.
No, it's a loophole.
It was part of the rules.
And it was affecting other players in a way that they were not supposed to be affected. Her not sprinting in the Olympics right now is not affecting other sprinters in a way that they should not be affected. They're still going to sprint just like they have been, or they would have, or all that other stuff. They can still play their sport to the best of their ability without worrying about a loophole, someone doing some shit.
That doesn't matter. It's not for the betterment of the sport.
It does matter. That's the exact reason why it happened in the NBA. It wasn't just affecting one person. It affected the entire.
It was. You know what they called? They called the James Harden rule because one player was doing it. They literally called the James Harden, Kevin Durant. They called if you go back in time, there's literally several cases of players.
Named it after a player, but I'm sure you could look back and say, well, maybe the other team would have won if it wasn't for James Harden. That's a huge implication. That maybe they wouldn't have scored as much points. That's a huge implication. You cannot say that another sprinter is going to have a worse time because Sha'carri's not sprinting. You cannot say that.
You know, you actually can't say that because they're not going to be chasing anybody. So that's one. You can 100% say that because they're not going to be chasing somebody. You can 100% say that. If you're chasing the, you know the quote is saying it's always easier to chase than it is to lead.
I know that.
100%. So you can't say objectively without a fact that people chasing the leader, it wouldn't help their time at all when there's someone in front of them. You cannot say that.
I'm agreeing with
but
that.
That's not even the point I'm arguing, fam. The point I'm arguing is literally you're saying so Sha'carri Richardson failed the drug test. We shouldn't look at this broken, outdated law.
No, we should, in an organized way.
What? Who is arguing not in an organized way, fam? The rule is stupid. Change the rule.
I'm agreement with you in the fact that we need to change this rule. I'm in disagreement with you in the fact that because Sha'carri herself needs to sprint, now we need to change this rule right now.
The rule should have been changed a long time ago.
I agree.
So now there's a high-profile person that this rule cost us.
Individual resisting. We know what happens.
She's not resisting, fam. She accepted the shit that happened.
Just for the sake of this argument, she's the only one going against this rule right now, quote unquote resisting.
But she's not.
Who else broke the rule? I'm not aware if anyone else broke the rule.
No, I'm saying she's not resisting. That's what I'm saying. No one's
quote unquote resisting. She's not resisting in the literal sense of the word. But since she's the only one who went against the rule, resist means to go against. Quote unquote, she's resisting right now. All right, it's not literal, but that's the word I'm using right now. You get what I'm trying to say. Since she's the only one resisting, if you look historically at any type of change that we need, like segregation, racism, all those stupid laws, all those stupid policies that we wanted to change, if you yourself went and tried to change it because it's a stupid rule, you yourself got clapped for sure. You had to organize. You had to come together as a
organize
stupid rule. And no one was gonna say, yo, because Alex went to the diner where only whites were allowed and got beat up, now we should all see Alex was a great guy. He shouldn't get beat up at all. Now we need to change this rule. That never happened. That's not how you're supposed to go about this.
That does not. How are you supposed to?
This is gonna encourage other athletes, other people in other walks of life.
No. You don't need to do that.
So I'm gonna risk my career to try to change it myself.
You're on like some no.
Same thing.
No one needs to be a martyr here, fam. The rule is stupid, right? It's really that simple. You're comparing to other things which are nowhere near as complex as this right now, right?
Well,
those things are more complex, I'll say.
Yeah, for sure. But the idea at its core,
fam, the idea at its core, the rule is stupid, right? Yes. We have a stupid rule that's been in place for 20 something years or however long it has, right? Yes. Just bear with me, right? The rule's been in place for X amount of years, and now somebody of the highest caliber broke this stupid rule. Yeah. This rule needs to be readdressed. It's that simple. There's nothing like I don't understand how you can fight that. It's literally we're missing out as spectators. We're missing out on one of the best people to watch at the Olympics, fam. If you gave me like 10 people to watch at the Olympics, who would you name right now? Just 10 out of all the sports.
I don't know. Usain Bolt, Michael. I don't know.
Look at that. Look, these guys naming retired Olympians, man.
Yeah, I don't watch sports. We know
you're a track and field guy. You watch track and field.
Allison Felix. I know she had a kid, but
okay, yeah. So that's one, right? Allison Felix is a great person to watch. You also have Sydney McLaughlin. You have Gabby Douglas. I mean, not Gabby Douglas. Sorry, Simone Biles. And you have Sha'carri Richardson. These are four of the most famous people in the world in their respective sport.
I did not know about Sha'carri Richardson until this news broke.
You are nicknamed Patrick Star for a reason, man.
When it comes to sports, then I'm agree with that.
But regardless, right? Some of the most popular figures in the world, and at least the U.S., right? But in the world, in their respective competitions, that have posted the best times over the last 2.5, 3, 4 years. Mm-hmm. We're gonna miss on one of the most exciting people that's been compared to, FloJo, right?
Yeah. Nah.
Oh, wow. All right, you're forcing it.
Nah.
I want to say Florence Jones. I may be miss, but one of the most famous women sprinters. She has one of the fastest times of all time. She was very lavish, the same way Sha'carri was.
Okay.
Like nails, long hair, all that type of stuff. Long nails, all that, all like the glamorous, flashy stuff.
Okay.
We're going to miss out on one of the most known. Like she's sponsored by Nike. She's a very popular star over a dumb rule. And we
And
should really use this time right now and be like, yo, it's really time to change this rule. It's really time to change this rule. Like the president that it sets is stupid, right? The fact that you're gonna argue it's a performance enhancing drug is stupid, and the fact that it's on the substance abuse level with heroin and cocaine, fam, that's absurd. That's absurd. I never. You know what happened to me yesterday? You know what happened to me yesterday? I was driving down Geneva Ave, right? So it's a city in Dorchester. It's a street in Dorchester, like a small little neighborhood. It's a pretty long street. Someone that was, I don't know what they were on, but I'm gonna guess it was crack. Literally jumped out in front of my car. But I kid you not, I had to brake very hard. Jumped out in front of my car, looked all scrambled, and jumped back inside the street, and then started picking up things that were not there. Like I kid you not, she was just like picking stuff up, and there was nothing there. She was like picking up the sidewalk. I've never seen one person in my life do that on marijuana. And these are the same. Like this is, it defies common sense, right? I don't know. I know there's a long. I know
that I'm agreeing with.
I know, but I know there's a long history of propaganda and anti-marijuana use, and all type of stuff. Whatever, right? I don't smoke. I never smoked before.
How it's not that bad.
I 100% am in the belief that this person failed the drug test. She did. She accepted it. Now is the time. It's like we're gonna miss one of the most exciting people because of a stupid rule.
And now,
let's change that rule.
Yes, she is gonna keep her ban, but let's change the rule moving forward. Let's all come together in an organized.
I never said to not. I mean, I think the ban is really stupid. I don't think the ban should be there.
I agree.
Once again, like it's really stupid. I think it should be overturned, or I would want it to be. I'd want it to be overturned, but that's here or there. That's not going to get overturned. Get rid of the rule.
My point is, I'm not even focused on the overturning part because I just want it to be changed moving forward. She knew the rules and she made a decision. It is what it is. It sucks. It happened, right? Moving forward, how do we organize to change this rule? That's my thing. But everyone's talking about like, yo, don't ban her, don't do this, don't do that.
You don't need to organize, fam.
Huh?
You don't need to organize. There's enough public outcry that there's enough public outcry that the IOC, the International Olympics Committee, they can just be like, all right, this is really dumb. We've lost this player off this, or this runner off this. Let's change this rule that has clearly shown no effect. Like
this public outcry is part of people coming together in an organized way. People are using social media in an organized.
You're using organized very loosely, my friend. People using organized very loosely
for a common goal.
People being outraged. I would not call people being outraged over something that defies common sense an organized unit. Fam.
I would say that's an organized attack at this rule. I would argue that it's very loose. But since people are working together for a common goal,
the way you was comparing it to the segregation and stuff and all that, you're using it
right because I know
loosely.
I recognize that those things are not parallel. Those things are not the same at all. One is clearly worse and more complicated than the other. But I said at its core, it's people coming together instead of an individual to resist a particular policy or rule. That's stupid. This is what's happening here. People are coming together as a unit to resist a policy or a rule that's stupid. That was my thing. And that's how it should be going. That's how change historically has been done when it comes to things like this.
My friend, I promise you, there will be no need for any of that. Right? Many people all around the world have said how stupid this is. If that's the organization, I wouldn't call it organization. I just call it a response to foolishness. A stupid rule.
Fair. You don't have to call it an organization. That's a very loose. I see very loose.
It's very loose, but nonetheless, the Olympics are very broken. I know people are saying boycott and all this type of stuff. The abortion thing, honestly, is one that I kind of would want to boycott more over, because I think that's just outrageous. A 5-year ban for what she got is absolutely outrageous.
5 years.
5 years, right? And the fact that she even had disclosed that she had an abortion, like it's just so
insulting.
Like I not that she had disclosed that she had an abortion, but she had to come out publicly and like, this is why I lost my appeal and they won't give me like that. That's really outrageous.
Because that's private. That's private stuff. Like,
yeah, that's outrageous, right? So, nonetheless, the Olympics are very broken.
I agree.
Don't get it twisted. It's something I usually look forward to watching in the summer, you know, but this year definitely has a sour taste in my mouth. There won't be as many spectators either because of COVID and all that type of stuff. It's in Japan, so we'll see how that goes. But
Opinion Factory podcast.
Yeah, I don't even have a question this week, man. I think the question's too obvious. The answer's too obvious, man.
How do you think the Sha'carri Richardson situation should have been handled by the Olympic Committee? Do you think the ban should be overturned? Let us know what you think. Comment down below if you're on YouTube. Let us know what you think. Rate the episode. Subscribe to the channel if you really enjoyed this episode. We are on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And thank you guys for listening. We're going to catch you next week.